I have a huge confession to make. At the time of recording this video, which is July 1st, 2023, I have invested thousands of dollars in like YouTuber courses, public speaking, etc. courses. I've invested tons of money into the books to become a better YouTuber. I've invested 1.5 years of my time on making this my passion project that I spend outside of my 9-to-5 job. And in that time, we've only outputted 30 videos in 1.5 years. I don't know what the math on that is, but roughly let's say it's like one 10-minute video every 2 weeks. I know that my potential is so much higher than that, and I'm sure you can relate to that fact. The thing that I want to admit to you as a learning lesson is that I really have been half-assing the effort on this channel. Most days from Monday to Friday, I'm just so fucking exhausted from the 9-to-5 job that, you know, I get home and I just spend a lot of time doing the easy part of this job, which is researching and learning from the courses in the books how to become better, without doing this more difficult part, which is doing the recordings and making the videos that change lives. How many times in your life have you said, oh, if I just applied myself, I'd be so much more successful, but I'm just lazy, I'm just a procrastinator, blah blah blah. The more you say that, oh, if I just applied myself, the more you're just reinforcing the fact that you're a bitch. I'm not saying that you at your core are a bitch, but that is bitch behavior. To put that more formally, it means that you're not living at your edge, which is one of the best lessons in the book, The Way of the Superior Man, which is a must read in this space. Essentially, what that lesson in the book teaches you is that the guys who are living at their edge, regardless of where their potential is, edge and potential are the same word, essentially, they're synonymous here. The guy who is living at his peak potential is more respectable than the guy who is like half-assing his potential, right? To give you an example, if you have one guy who is the manager of janitorial services at some skyscraper, right? But this guy, his whole life has been suffering. He was abused as a kid. He was completely disrespected in school. He was put down by the teachers and students alike. By all intents and purposes, this guy could have become a statistic and just, you know, been a failure in life. But the fact that he's risen to the rank of managerial in some organization just clearly shows that he defied the odds and he is living at his potential. A different story would be some guy who he was just born naturally intelligent, born to a normal family without any abuse in it. He just went to a normal school, maybe went to university, but his grades were always like less than they could have been because he wasn't necessarily interested in the material. His IQ was high enough to get the good grades if he did apply himself. And then after graduating university, he gets some job that really he's underqualified for because he didn't put in the disciplined work to network and apply to better jobs. And so now he's just the smartest guy on his team because he completely lacked the effort that it takes to get himself into the kind of job that would be him at his potential. Do you know a guy like that at all? I think you do. The thing is, wouldn't you respect the guy with the quote-unquote, let's just say, lower potential in life, but who's reaching his potential, compared to the guy who, you know, you could be a startup founder, you could be a business owner, you could be this entrepreneur, etc. But because you lack the drive and the discipline, you know, you're working in some customer service role that you're completely overqualified for. No disrespect to customer service. It's an important part of society and everything like that. But if you are a talented individual with a mind for strategy and a big brain for thinking and that kind of thing, you are meant to be in some greater position. I think we can all agree that we would respect the man whose potential is, by society's standards, lower than this other guy who could go and be some, you know, executive, some entrepreneur, some CEO kind of guy, because this guy is actually fulfilling his potential while the other one is just half-assing that shit. I strongly believe that if you are the kind of guy who's saying all the time, you know, if I just applied myself, I would be so successful, it really means that you truly have a deep-seated fear of failure and rejection. For years in my self-improvement journey, I had seen motivational Instagram posts, motivational YouTube shorts, etc. that say, oh, don't be afraid of rejection, don't be afraid of failure. And so logically I knew that I wasn't supposed to be so that I could become successful. But even after like self-diagnosing myself as not afraid of fear and failure for years, between like 19 and 24, only very recently in the past year, really like in the past couple of months, I've realized that I'm incredibly scared of failure. I'm incredibly scared of putting my 100% ass instead of just half-ass into this channel and putting everything on the line to make this succeed. But the thing is, we all know the story of the entrepreneur. They fail a ton of times, they're not afraid, and they full ass every business idea before moving on to the next thing. For example, right, if you're half-assing your self-improvement over the span of like 3 years or 6 years like I did between 18 and 24 years old, then a lot of that time is really just going to be you like feeling like content that, oh, I'm on self-improvement, you know, I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, only to realize at some long, far ahead point in the future that so much of that time was wasted. You would have come to the same conclusion that it took me 6 years to realize. Because when you're half-assing something, it's going to take you up to 6 years like I did half-assing self-improvement. And I'm defining half-assing as binging all of the videos, reading all of the books, but not taking the consistent actions to create the traits in myself that I wanted to. It's going to take you so long just to learn the most basic things. Like for me, it took me 6 years to realize that the most important skill in self-improvement is the life-changing dopamine detox. Everything else kind of just falls into place once you master it. So as of recording this video on July 1st, 2023, we are entering season 2 of the channel. Season 1, I was half-assing it. I was getting accustomed to this completely new thing. But with season 2, I've paid a lot of money for the courses and books, etc. I know exactly what I need to be doing, and I want you to see the results. We have like 384 subscribers right now as of this moment that I'm recording this video, and just see how quickly the channel blows up once I'm constantly thinking about new ideas, making better thumbnails, making better scripts, etc. I want this channel, the biggest value of it, to be essentially a case study of you witnessing a guy doing the self-improvement, taking consistent action, doing the life-changing dopamine detox to save his own fucking life. I think there's so much value in sharing this transformation, because I'm also going to make another video right after this one about how in this past month, June and a bit of May, I really relapsed on my instant gratification binging because of a couple personal things. That so you're watching a guy who's in the middle of, he knows everything he should be doing, he just needs to take the consistent action. And I know that there is so much value in documenting my journey of going from a guy addicted to watching YouTube videos, addicted to watching anime all the time, still watching porn once in a while when I feel lonely, and transforming into the guy we all know we should be, who knows all of this and implements it, who listens to that voice, the conscience on the inside who says, okay, don't decide to watch videos while I'm eating food, just sit down in silence. If that sounds useful to you, I highly advise you to subscribe right now. If the algorithm showed you this video, I'm sure you've watched over 300 self-improvement videos already, so you are in the same stage that I am, where we just need to take consistent action to graduate out of the self-improvement depression. So sincerely, bro, I advise you to subscribe to save your life, along with me saving my own. Before I forget, today's video action mission is to be honest with yourself and say verbally, I have been half-assing this shit so far. I am scared of taking years to learn the most basic information, and I am going to full ass apply myself. I want to become the kind of man who, from wake up to falling asleep at night, is working on his personal development and making his dreams come true. With that, brother, I highly advise you to click the "You're not gonna hit your rock bottom" video in the top left of your screen, because that one pairs quite nicely with the whole lesson of this one, where you're not going to eventually start full-assing your self-improvement. You have to force yourself to today before you fall asleep. Watch that one now, and I'll see you over there.